Hey everyone, it is Krisha here, coming at you once again with another video. Today what I wanted to talk about is the whole idea around surrendering into the unknown. As I'm recording this right now, we are in the middle of the coronavirus outbreak. And there's a lot of uncertainty right now. There's a lot of unknown. We don't know what's going to happen because we've actually never experienced something like this before. Okay. We all know that there's a lot of, um, you know, kind of scary things happening. Obviously, there's a lot of people who are being impacted and dying from this. We're seeing some collapses in certain places around the world where the infrastructure just like wasn't prepared to handle it. And we're doing our best to respond to something, by closing schools and closing stores and having this social distance, and staying indoors and staying in our homes and stuff like that to help stop the spread of this virus, because we really don't know really much about it and what the long-term impact is going to be, right? And so the place of the unknown is actually a really beautiful place for humans to be in. And yet it is one of the most it's one of the things that we resist the most, right? Because we do not like to not know what's coming. We do not like to not have plans. We do not like to not have goals and all that kind of stuff. And yet it is kind of critical for us to start to adopt more of that way of thinking. So there's, you know, there is a lot of education and information out there in the spiritual space about letting go and surrendering and leaning into the unknown and just being like surprised and delighted and curious about what the universe has in store for us, right? And before all of this current climate took place, this was a lot of the stuff that I was teaching, but also living and embodying in my own life. And it's not easy, right? Because our brain wants to know. We have to know. We've got this addiction to needing to know what's coming next. However, when we're faced with uncertainty or we're faced with something like this, the best place for us to be is in the unknown. And because when we are worrying or in fear or anything like that, what we're doing is we're projecting that out into the future, and it's almost like causing a calamity to happen in your life. So let's bring this like just into your life. Let's bring this into something that's not so you know big as coronavirus. Let's just bring this into just your personal life, your day-to-day living, and so on and so forth. And the idea is, you can have plans, you can have an idea of where you want your life to go. You can have goals. All of those things are totally fine and totally healthy to have. What the unknown is where you have those things for yourself as an idea. And I say they're an idea. It is a thought coming from your head. And then releasing it to the universe as this or better, right? And what this does is it allows for the universe to bring you in something even more amazing than what you could have imagined. So I started to really practice this myself, starting in around like mid 2018. Up to that point, I was living my life from fear. I was living my life in this state of like, things have to happen in this particular kind of way. And I thought I knew exactly what it was that I wanted. And then as I started to let go of all of that, and I started to like really deeply go within, really start to meditate quite a bit, and remind myself to be in present awareness as much as possible. And present awareness is basically like mindfulness. It's presence. It's being here, not thinking about the future, not worrying about the past, not having an argument or a rumination or worry or anything like that in your mind, to be completely and totally and like completely present in this moment right now. And so I started to practice that in my day-to-day life. And what I was finding happening was all of the thoughts that I thought I wanted started to kind of fall off and were being replaced by people and opportunities and incidents that were even like more mind-blowing than I could have imagined, in the best way. And also the lessons were also, whoa, didn't see that one coming, right? It's polarity. You can't only have the good. There are lessons in this as well. And those lessons come from the decisions that we've made in the past based on fearful thinking and all the stuff that I'm talking about right now, right? So I really started to just kind of go, okay, I don't know. And what happened, part of that, what happened was that I was actually not really getting a clear vision of the future. And it was becoming really frustrating for me because I was like, I don't see anything anymore. I used to see so much about what my future life was going to look like. And then all of a sudden I wasn't seeing anything anymore. And I know I'm not the only one who was experiencing this, because my friends and I and colleagues and I, we were kind of talking about this throughout the majority of 2019, where we were just like, what's going on? Like, I used to have this vision and image of what's going to happen, and it's just all gone. Maybe it was preparing us for this. What's happening right now, I don't know. And so because I was just literally not seeing anything anymore, I thought, you know what? I'm just going to surrender into this. I'm going to surrender into it and see what happens, see what comes up. And it was very difficult because I would surrender and then I would get back into, but I need to know. I need to know how to make money. I need to know how this and where's this and why is that not happening? And how come things are not manifesting the way they used to manifest? And there was all this like freak out and this panic. And then I would remember, that's not where creation does live there. That's not the kind of future I want to create. I want to create something that's more calm, that's more centered, that's more exciting, that's more awe-producing, that's more in alignment with whatever it is that I am here to do and to serve on. And so a lot of that work was meditating daily, a couple times a day, and being very, very present in the moment as much as I possibly could. And it allowed me to continue to surrender. And every time I felt that tension of, but what, I would remember, okay, I have to go back. Not have to, I get to go back into being present and into being curious about what could happen next. And so I practiced that a lot. And a lot of really cool things came up in that time period that I was just like, I didn't even know that this existed. I didn't even know that this was possible for me. I didn't even know this. I didn't know that. How could I possibly know? I wasn't giving myself the opportunity to know anything different than what I was programming myself to receive, programming myself to see by the very virtue of planning out every moment of every day. When you are operating from that place, it actually causes a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety when things go sideways, because things will go sideways because the universe is always smacking you back onto your purpose and your path. That's why there's all these things that happen that you're just like, what? It's getting you back on track. No, stop, right? Like, stop focusing over there, get back over here. This is what the universe does to us. And it's all of the lessons that we learn, all of those things we're like, oh my God. And part of that work also is the work that I do with clients, and that's the deeper transformational work, looking at your patterns and your ways of self-sabotage and so on and so forth. So there's also some deeper inner work that can be done in this as well. However, remembering that nobody knows anything. Like, we really honestly do not know what is coming next. And the more we're in fear, especially right now, especially around things like the economy, right? We are inadvertently creating things to be worried about. We're creating problems. We're creating chaos when we actually don't know if there's going to be chaos or not. We really honestly don't know. We can anticipate based on past experience, but the past isn't today. This is true for your own life too. And this is the lesson that I'm learning right now, is not to bring my past material into my present moment, right? Whatever happened a year ago doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen right now, because I'm a whole new freaking person. And so are you. You're a different person right now than you were this morning. You are. Because your cells are constantly regenerating. You have new thoughts, and you've had new experiences. You have new wisdom. So the deeper work here is to remember that you have wisdom in this moment, and it is only this moment that you need to concern yourself with, and not bring all of this material from before into your present moment from the point of, well, I can't do that because that happened that way last time. This doesn't mean that we don't learn from our mistakes. That's what wisdom is. What it means is that don't be afraid to move forward. Don't be afraid to take risks. Don't be afraid to surrender. Don't be afraid to be in the unknown because of your history, because of what's happened in the past, right? This is about remaining alert and remaining, like, conscious and awake about what's going on. Don't be a fool, of course, and be like, bury your head in the sand. However, also having that curiosity and having that, okay, like, we don't know what is going to be happening next. And that's true in our personal lives, and that's true in this wider situation that we're in right now. And being as present and mindful as absolutely possible. And that also will help you to be able to navigate what your personal next best steps are in this particular situation and in your life, right? So if you get still and you get quiet and you start to get these messages come in that say, okay, here's what you need to do in order to protect yourself or your family or whatever. But if you're in that panic, if you're in that state of like, oh my God, how am I going to pay for this? The economy's crashing. This is happening. That's happening. When we're in that panic state, and that's what it's like, and you make decisions from there, those are going to be the kinds of decisions that will make your life smaller, collapse you even more, make you afraid to leave the house, and cause you to make rash decisions that might seem calm or sensical in the moment, but that are actually just breeding more fear for you. Okay, so presence, mindfulness, meditation, wonderment. I wonder what's going to happen. And no, I know, I wonder what's going to happen, like, scared, but in that more wondrous sort of way. And this is something that I am actively learning and practicing right alongside with you here. Because this is not a one and done thing. This is something that you will continuously learn over your lifetime, and we'll still fall into fear. We'll still fall into scarcity. We'll still fall into the overthinking. We'll still fall into all of those things because we are still human at the end of the day, right? However, there is always an alternative, higher self way to approach all of this. And the biggest thing that you can do right now in service to yourself and in service to the people who are around you is to stay as grounded as possible, as present as possible, And don't spread fear, don't spread rumors, don't spread anything. And, you know, really just lean and surrender into the unknown and follow the intuitive hits as you get them from a place of calm centeredness, not from panic. So if you find yourself, you know, you're in that space and you're making a decision, or you get an idea, let it sit for a minute before you go off with it. Okay. And this is especially true if you're a manifesting generator. You need to dial that down and come to a calm place, and then assess whether or not that thing is the right thing for you to do. Okay. So all of your answers are within. And if you need any support at this time from somebody like myself, please feel free to reach out and connect with me. I'd be more than happy to support you with whatever it is that you need right now. So thank you so much for watching. And remember, meditate, calm, centered, present awareness. And, you know, I wonder what's going to be happening here, and not putting out negative thoughts and worries out into the world right now, because we can't be doing that. If 8 billion people are doing that, we are just going to be cultivating some really bad stuff coming down the line. But if 8 billion people started to think way more positively and spread that, think about it. Okay. So thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.